For information about investing in character-led companies, please visit www.rocinvestments.com and join the growing number of investors choosing to make character a priority when investing their money.
What was the most character-defining moment in your career?
I think there have been, I was kind of thinking through this, like, what are those big moments? That feedback was a big moment for me, that like having someone be so blunt and showing that you should do that as a leader. There was another moment. So after I decided to leave Disney and I was doing my own 3D printing company, and let's see, I've had, there have been places where building careers is super hard. There have been people I'll never work for again along the way, boards I'll never sign up to work for again.
Right.
But when I started my own company and I was raising capital, I was doing the second round of raising capital, and it could not have been more brutal in the second round. I had to push one of my partners out of the business about 6 months before. And I had term sheets on the table. I was in that game of like, I can't even answer my email until I get to work because someone will have rejected me in my fundraise at that moment. And it becomes,
I've been there.
It's really hard to not make it a personal reflection.
Right.
You're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I am not good enough to like sit in that role. And so I was in this space of like, I can't open my email till I get to the office because it's too much. I have term sheets on the deal. I'm still dealing with people who have equity ownership in the business who want to like blow those things up. And it actually, one of my deals, the deal I really needed, got blown up because of those dynamics with like 3 days to close on the transaction. And I had signed one of my national retail agreements about 2 weeks before that. And so all of this came to the exact same moment in time. And so I've got this national retailer, I've got this financing situation, I've got, all the things that you can imagine coming around that. And it was the moment where I actually had to decide who I was going to be and how I was going to do it, because the easiest thing to do would have been to walk away. The easiest thing to do would have been to say, it's too much, right? Like the pathways through and finding the what ifs are too heavy, right? And the toll is too great. Problem is, I'm not really good at that, which makes me immensely loyal along the way. And especially because people work for you and other people depend on you and you're building something. And so it always puts me in this path of there are options. There's always a path. It might not look like what you thought on day one. It might look completely different, but there is always a way through. Mm-hmm. And so that puts me constantly in this place of, okay, pick up the phone. Who are the 100 things? Kind of culminated on a Friday night at 5:00. One of my key partners that I needed for this install nationwide calls me, and they're like, "Sid," and we're 2 weeks away. It's like, we're not going to make it. We're backing out. We're not going to deliver what you need to in 2 weeks. You're on your own. It's like Friday at 5:00. And I leave the office. I'm like, I can't even think about it. So Monday I come back in the office and I'm like, hey, here team, like, here's all the things that are going on. Will you guys brainstorm with me a list of everything that might possibly solve this problem? We come up with a list of like 40 things on the whiteboard. And I was like, at the end of the day, none of this might work. And I told them that. I'm like, I might be asking the impossible, but just play one game with me. So we start going down the list. And this includes every family and friend we ever possibly knew in order to get something done. At the end of the day, we missed our install by 1 day. And it became for me this moment of, you're right, there always is a pathway forward. And if you have the right people around you and you can get everyone into the same mentality of, it might not succeed, but if we try, it's worth the effort. And we actually don't know what we're going to run into. I promise tomorrow we'll make a phone call, we'll think it's going to go, and then something's going to blow up. Like, I can guarantee you that's the path we're on. It ended up taking like 150 family members, every person we ever knew for that entire weekend in order to get the things ready that we needed to ship to those stores to open them for holiday. And everyone did it, and they stepped in, and we solved that. And as I reflect on that, like, that's the thing that you're doing. You're building people, you're building character in the moments of those. You're building that, even if we ended up failing, you're building this mentality that you can dive in and work together. And it's okay if it fails at the end, because you did everything possible that you were supposed to do to find out where it was supposed to go.
For information about investing in character-led companies, please visit www.rocinvestments.com and join the growing number of investors choosing to make character a priority when investing their money.